Hey guys, this is Eric with hustlepaintball.com, and we finally got enough time to actually show you how to make gun stands. We finally got caught up with PBE and new products and other videos. But anyhow, obviously you can tell we have two different types of gun stands here. We have my design and Russell's design. His is way more simple. Mine is a little bit more complex. And you know, the point of this video is to keep your gun off the ground or keep it from laying on its side. It's easy to fill paint into your hopper. It's not, you know, I mean, you can do whatever you want. You can go off of what we made. You can make some Death Star object out of PVC, and so you put it in and it latches in and doors close, whatever. You can go crazy with it. The point of this whole gun stand is, you know, again, to keep your marker off the ground and keep it safe and easy and take up less room when the gun's on its side. So that being said, the most important thing about this video is that you want to get a good schematic or a drawing. You can either take some scratch paper, just doodle with crayons, or you could, you know, go with a dry erase board, which is what we have, and figure out exactly how many pieces you need. So obviously you can tell that my artistic skill is way better than Russell from Hustle's design and his artistic skills. But either way, you can see how, you know, he requires 4 90-degree elbows and 2 T's illustrated in red, and the PVC is illustrated in the green. And this is the best way that you can do it, because this way you can go to your local hardware store and actually figure out how many pieces you need and the right pieces that you may need. So obviously he needs 4 90s, 2 T's, and the outer diameter of the PVC pipe is 3/4 of an inch. And I used the same thing, 3/4 of an inch pipe, and I needed 7 T's. I needed a single 1 inch to 3/4 T, and I'll explain that in a little bit, and 8 90s. The reason why I got the 1 inch to 3/4 inch T is so that when I cut it in half, I can actually rest the barrel in it. But we'll go over that in a second. But first, we need some materials. So after you've drawn your schematic, counted how many T's and elbows that you may need, go to your local hardware store and go pick up the materials. So let's go farm some mats, because I totally don't play World of Warcraft. But actually, no, let's just go buy some stuff. Come on. So you have the, you know, we're choosing 3/4, obviously 10 feet for $2. The pre-cut stuff is for 2 feet, and it's half the price. So for an extra 8 feet, for an extra $1, you get 8 more feet. Way better just to get the 10 feet of whatever diameter you're choosing, and then just cut it down, because you're going to be cutting it anyway. So it's the stuff you want, the 10 feet stuff. So depending on what diameter PVC pipe you want your stand to be made out of, either 1/2 inch, 3/4, or an inch, whatever, you go to the corresponding section, and you're going to get the bag of 90s. Seems like it's the best way to go. And obviously in your blueprint, you count out how many 90s and how many T's you might need. Sorry, we're totally not supposed to be filming in here right now. In this case, we only need a bag of 90s and a bag of T's. I think in these, it's 10 per bag, so it's easier than carrying 10 of them in your hands. So 10 and 10, that's what we're gonna need today. So grab these. So for where we're gonna have our barrel actually resting is going to be the barrel post, I guess you can call it. And what we're going to do with that, since our stand's going to be made out of 3/4, we're going to get the 3/4 to 1 inch T, so we can cut this thing in half, and, you know, or if you don't want to cut it, you're going to put it so that your barrel goes in it, that's fine. Just keep in mind that you're going to have a barrel band on there, so you're going to have your elastic going in this. It's kind of a chafe. So I chose to do 3/4 to 1 inch. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this in half so the barrel sits right on top of here. So you're going to need some foam for where your tank actually sits on your stand. So in this case, since we're using 3/4, obviously get the 3/4 inner diameter noodle and get this thing wet, beat your friend with it, and then, you know, cut it and make a gun stand. It's not really a noodle, so this will not keep you afloat in the pool, but it will make a nice cushion for your tank. So of course you're going to be cutting your PVC. Don't chimp out and get the $7 ratchet, or not the ratchet, but the hacksaw. It makes the life kind of a pain in the ass, and then at the end you're going to be tired. These guys make your life so much easier. For an extra, what, $7, $6? Get these. Sweet. So we got our materials here. So what we're going to do now, since we have everything, we're actually going to bring in the camera a little bit closer, a little old school, and give you a bird's eye view so you can actually see exactly what I'm cutting. First things first, guys, no one likes working with 10 feet of PVC. So let's go ahead and just eyeball this. I mean, if you want to, you can get a tape measure out and cut it exactly at 5 feet. But for this, I'm just going to cut that in half. All right, so before we start cutting some of the major components, let's refer to our schematic here. There you go. All right, so these guys, these poles right here, all these ones that are illustrated in green, those are going to be the largest ones. So we're going to go ahead and cut these largest sections first, which there is 11 of. And then after that, we're going to cut these smaller portions, which go in between the joints after that. So, that being said, let's start cutting. And of course, if you aren't comfortable with eyeballing, you can get a tape measure, cut it exactly to the point where you want to. And as you guys can probably see, I'm nowhere to being exactly the same on these larger pieces, because you do have some wiggle room as soon as you insert them into the T's or the 90s. Now, on to the smaller pieces. What I like to do is I like to take two pieces, butt them together, and let's see here. Let's see, take my two fingers, so it's about a finger length away. I don't know if you guys can see that. So in order to get these T's butted up next together and be nice and flush, I'm going to cut them about my finger lengths apart, or my 2 finger widths as a length. So let's get cutting these short pieces. And again, I'm not being exact, naturally. Let's get this out of the way for right now. Cool, so there's 6. All right, so now that we have 6 of these pieces, and 10 of these pieces, let's go ahead and start just going off of the schematic and start, you know, plug and playing, essentially. So I wanted to stop the fast forward right here for a second, because this part is where you're actually going to put the foam for your tank on. So what I'm going to do here is actually just eyeball it again. So right about there. Naturally, if I had scissors, it would be a lot easier, but I'm just going to tear this with my fingers. Cool. So then you just take these. Obviously, you can make it as clean as you want. Slide those bad boys down. And then continue with the installation. So the 11 long pieces that I cut out, this is going to be the 11th one. And I stopped to fast forward here just for a second, just so I could show you exactly what I'm going to do. It's going to involve another bit of cutting. So since this is a long piece, and this is going to be the tube that goes up underneath your barrel, go ahead and take that T, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to eyeball it. I'm going to say, get my marker here, I'm going to say right about here, and right about here. So I'm going to cut this section out so the T can actually sit in the very center, well, close to it. Oh, I want to slide there. Okay, sweet. So we got the up tube T going in the right spot. Now, if you set these guys up, this is going to be a little bit difficult to show you guys, but I want you to grab your marker with your tank and your barrel, and you're essentially going to set it on the tank rests, on the pads, and you're gonna, well, I am. See if I can get you a good view there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna eyeball the distance between the base of the T, or the base of the insert of the T, up to the bottom of my barrel. So let's see here. If I were to jam some of the extra stuff in there, take my marker again, I'm gonna say right about there. Set my marker down. Go ahead and tip this down so you guys can see. Go ahead and cut that bad boy off. This is where I took my my 1 inch, or my 3/4 to 1 inch diameter T. Slide that bad boy jam on there. Now there's many different ways that you can actually do this T part. You can actually leave it 90 degrees like this and just rest your barrel on top. I chose to turn it 90 degrees and take the same cutters. Now this part's kind of difficult. Take your cutters, and what I did was, see if I can get you a good view here. Stuck the blade halfway down, about halfway in there. Start ratcheting. It actually just split. I'm pretty sure you guys heard that pop. Do it from the same side. You can see it's splitting. I'll go ahead and do that to the other side. Essentially all I'm doing is just cutting this thing in half. Or close to it. bam, check that out. Slide that guy back on there, turn 90 degrees, put that up, and there you go, guys. One thing about this is it is very sharp. I actually just poked myself. So if you have any sandpaper laying around, or if your dad has a workshop, or if you work at a workshop and you're not a child, sand this down. You can make it round, and same thing with the. I'm sure you guys have probably seen the GO3 video where I put the EMC kit on it. I used some of that extra foam or any type of foam with some kind of adhesive. Put it in there so it's a nice spot for your barrel to rest. It's not likely to scratch your barrel, but just in case, I like it. So there it is, guys. Your freaking gun stand. Check that out. Folds up, lays flat in your gear bag. So how was that? Pretty painless and pretty easy? Well, I guess not really painless unless you cut your finger off. You should actually stop watching the video and head to the hospital. But from simple stands to more complex stands, it really doesn't matter what you choose to do, just as long as it works for you and you like it. Of course, you can paint it whatever color you want, spray paint, whatever works for you. But last season, I actually had a lot of time and a lot of materials left over from a couple that I made for the local kids. And actually, I made a 7-man gun stand, which you probably saw in the previous, or one of the previous reloads. I kind of brought it out briefly, but taking it out now, you can get a better idea on how this 7-man gun stand works. Obviously I put these stops in place just in case one marker were to fall over, the whole other 6 guns doesn't fall over. And you can obviously get an idea how easy it would be to do hopper tops in between points or in matches or whatever, or in between matches. And just have fun with this. I mean, it's one of those things where it's not completely necessary, but it's pretty awesome to have, and it definitely turns heads. But if you guys have any ideas on future how-to videos, of course you can always email us at videos@hustlepaintball.com. If you like, say the PDD axe or any of these Duratanks or anything paintball related, you can also get it at hustlepaintball.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you made your own stand, I want to see it. Post it up on PB Riot. Come join us. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of pictures of people or people's stands that they made. That's going to be following up soon here in the next couple of months. So anyway, guys, have fun, enjoy yourselves, and I'll talk to you guys later. Just in case we take too long to get stuff here and Ethan fires us, we can get a job at Home Depot and then we can make gun stands all day. All right.